Hi guys, I'm here with Fee, who is eighth place and the sixth member of our jury in Survivor All Stars. Hi Fee.
Hi.
Straight off the bat, did you expect to go home here?
No, I felt since yesterday. Wait, can I say what I said in my confessional? They can't confirm I said it technically, but I was my God, wait, I have to scroll through my mental breakdowns. Hold up. It was never mind. I can't find it. I already went to the Taylor Swift, but it was I was saying I feel like I'm gonna get blindsided. I hope I don't get blindsided. Slight smile emoji, right? So I had a weird feeling, and everybody was pretty quiet to me today, except for Nate, who kept going I don't know. He's nice. He likes talking to me, so I was talking to him at 10 in the morning. But everybody was really quiet to me, and it was kind of you could tell the vibes were off. Nobody was responding to me. It wasn't a very subtle blindside, but they didn't need to make it subtle because no idols and shit. But yeah, it's I was expecting it, but I was still holding out hope. It wasn't I didn't feel safe. I never feel safe. These past two votes, I felt this is they could totally blindside me here and still, well, last vote, I guess it would have been more costly to blindside me there just because it could have led to a deadlock. But here it was a totally fine opportunity because hypothetically they'd still have a majority. But oh my God, I thought I just heard my dad talk. That's embarrassing if he interrupts me during my interview. I'll be like, go away, Dad, I'm interviewing. But anyways, yeah, I kind of expected it. I don't think these are the most subtle people I've ever played with. Otherwise, yeah, no, it wasn't it wasn't a blindside. I'm sure to the viewers, it's oh my God, it's a blindside. But for me, it was I figured, I was going to get votes either way. But I wasn't totally surprised. I was hoping I wouldn't go home here, but I was not surprised by my vote off. Yeah.
So it was a 5-2-1.
That's so ugly.
Can you walk us through how it came to a 5-2-1?
I think it's a very ugly vote. I think I know why it was a 5-2-1 as opposed to a 6-2 or 7-1. I get the impression that it's kind of treated like a 7-1, but a certain somebody voted on my side just so they could say, hey, I voted with you, right? But I'm not stupid. I see through that. So I'm assuming it was just a ploy, right? But I don't know. I feel like a 5-2-1 is a weird vote to go out on. So I guess I can say I went on a 5-2-1. You didn't go out on a 5-2-1. You went out on two people went out on 2-1. So I guess that's not as quirky as I thought. Maybe it was I don't think, because it wasn't a minority split, but obviously because I don't have a merge idol to stumble upon while I'm searching the Krakatoa tent for the 15th time. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I can say has there ever been a 5-2-1 in Phoenix Org history? I can say I was the first 5-2-1 vote on Phoenix Org history. Look at me setting records every day.
You've missed it.
Did I forget the question
this season? I think.
What was the question? I'm really good at questions.
Can you walk us through what happened to make it a 5-2-1?
Oh, that, yes. See, look at me. My this isn't related to anything, but my 5th grade teacher on my report card said that I'm really good at not answering the question, that I turn the prompt into my own, which is not good for grades. But oh my God, there's so many people. Hi. Oh my God, I feel so famous. What the fuck? Who left? Anyway,
instantly.
I think it was really while it's a 5-2-1, I feel it was I feel it probably said shit. I was definitely planning too far in the future, openly. I've been planning my confessionals, of course, but I feel I probably planned too far in the future openly. But at the same time, I feel my threat level also wasn't super well managed. So I think those are two contributing factors. But I think the 5-2-1 was really more on the people who didn't vote me. I feel it was more of just a way to say, I didn't vote you. Look at me. I'm so cool, right? I'm not going to put my vote in for you and just blindside you 7-1, as opposed to I guess they're going to do the 5-2-1 just because I don't know. These people are fucking weird. Does that satisfied you, Georg?
So your final words were, what was that? What did they mean?
So wait, can I like actually say what I? So basically,
Yeah.
In the unholy trinity, right, which consisted of me, Alicia, and Chi, right? Which everybody in the game knew that was a trio since the final 11, because they were the people that voted with me, and also it's really obvious when you analyze parchments that who voted with me. So we've been a trio. We were a trio since the final 11. In our little Alliance chat, they were. It was mostly them. Like I do admit, like I did make like a couple, not nearly as active in the conversation, but they were making all these like snide comments. First, it was about how Grace was Brandon's puppet, right? And like, of course, I feel like when somebody compares a relationship, especially between a man and a woman, to a puppet and a master, it's very like, it gives me very bad vibes. You know, I think it's very misogynistic. Whether the intention is or not, it did not sit well with me. So later, I did actually say that like I don't want to compare it to a master and a puppet because I think that's very, but they didn't comment on that. So I couldn't. And then later they were making all these comments about how Grace had so many simps, right? I can name them off, but I don't even remember. They had a whole meme where it was like this person from The Bachelorette surrounded by 5 dudes, right? And they put the mangatars over it, which was like, it was Chi, right? Because Chi always takes things too far. Chi is going to be the 0 vote finalist. Can I say that? I don't know if I can say that, but if I can't,
yeah,
haha.
you can.
Okay. I don't know what I'm saying or not. But yeah, she like takes things too far. Alicia, at the same time, like I feel like she has good intentions, you know. And like knowing you're outside of the game, I know it was not. I get the impression it wasn't her intention to be misogynist, but at the same time, when you're 14, I feel like you can very easily just kind of go along with what other people say. Like, you know, I feel like you're very susceptible to being like, I want to say manipulated, because I don't think she's being manipulated into like being misogynist, but I feel like it's very, you're also really susceptible to peer pressure. So if Chi goes off like all like, haha, I hate women, Alicia will be like, yeah, fuck women, don't want to piss off my ally, right? Which is a bad example. Like, I don't think Alicia would straight up go, fuck women. Chi? I don't know. We'll see about that. But I feel like it was really weird. It didn't sit well with me. I didn't comment in my confessional because I feel like I've made so many complaints about the other people. Like I'd made like complaints about people misgendering me and stuff. Oh God, I hope my mom didn't hear that. That'd be awkward. But in my confessional and stuff, and I feel like I just kept constantly complaining. Right. So I didn't want to say out loud, like, hey, I think these people are being misogynist. And also it wasn't super game related. And so it just kind of sat in like my head for a while. But like it just didn't sit well with me. But at the same time, they were my allies. I couldn't directly go, hey, you're being misogynist, especially considering they have so much power over me. When you know, I was constantly defending on them. Not defending on them, depending on them. Oh my God, me and words. But I was constantly depending on them, right? Like they had to save me. Like, you know, it wasn't me who was in control of the Alliance as much as I wanted to think I was in control. And I definitely thought I was in control until pretty recently, right? Like I think I had a very distorted perception of myself in the game. I thought I had more power than I did, but really upon reflection, I totally didn't, you know, and I couldn't call them out in the middle of an Alliance chat when these were the only people that wanted to work with me when everybody else was totally fine with voting me out. So it just kind of sat in there. And I felt like I owed it to Grace, you know, because Grace and I are outside friends at the game, right? Like yesterday, if you looked at her statuses, we had to apply for low budget the moon. If that's a reason why people targeted me, people are like, hey, Fee has good relationships with the jury because Fee and Grace have the same status. I will literally rip them to shreds. I will go and find them and I will rip them to shreds. But that's not the point. But I felt like I owed this to Grace, right? To tell her or like to make this public knowledge that people are like, you know, because Alliance chats don't get opened at the end of the season. And I felt like if we just let this go under the rug, it just would not sit well with me morally. So I felt like I needed to call them out publicly as I was going. And I feel like if I called them out privately, it wouldn't have, as I was going, it would have had like less effect. I feel like it would have also gone in a like a a very bitter like, wow, you guys just betrayed me, like fuck you misogynists, like I feel like it would have come off in that way. So I felt like putting it in a tribal chat where I've put things in bot commands as opposed to like the tribe chat because I didn't want the spectators to see, but I felt like I just needed to say it in the place that would get the most viewage. So I said it in the tribal chat as my final words, and I hope it doesn't come off as me being like a bitter bitch, right? Like, oh, I hate you all. You guys are terrible people. Which isn't, I don't think they're bad. I think they're just very misguided, especially in terms of an emotional game such as an org. So I think my final words, like I said it wasn't a bad move, but I think it was a terrible move on their part. But on Alicia and Chi's part, and I guess by proxy Milo, but at the same time, Milo's just weird. But yeah, I feel like on like the like the Ben Tommy side of things, it was a brilliant move on their part. That was the move I would have made if I was in their position. But to get people to flip on me, I feel like it demonstrates more how like weakness in Alicia and Chi as players than it does strengths in them. Like, oh look, I just voted out my closest ally who I would have taken them to the end, like it was because I thought I beat them at the end, but I would have taken them to the end, right? And then otherwise, like my second part was me going like I wanted to quit, and I can like many people can confirm this. I've said in multiple people's DMs like, hey, I want to quit this org, but I can't because I feel like I owe it to the host and I owe it to the players to not quit here, which like just for mental health reasons, and I'm saying this really loudly, so I hope my mom can't hear me because that'd be awkward, but my dog can, so like, yeah. Anyways, I feel like, and then also, of course, the most important part of my last words, apply for low budget, the mood, if you, mood! The moon, not the moon! Oh my god, I'm so bad with words today. This is what I get for doing my interview at 4:30 p.m. when I'm tired and I haven't drank any water. But, yes, shameless plug, apply for low budget the moon. Grace made the logo and it is the cutest logo. Like it's so cute. Love it. Yeah. I mean, I'm just a slave to advertisement. But yeah, that's kind of like what I was trying to go for. Mainly my points was like, hey, I'm gonna call you out here in a public channel. If I'd said it in tribe chat, like the jurors wouldn't have seen it either. And I don't think it's as effective to say it in tribe chat and then go in Ponderosa. Oh, here's the thing I didn't post in the tribal chat. Like, it doesn't make sense. So I felt like, I owed it to Grace. I owed it to myself because I was silent, and silence is like kind of complicit, And I feel like, entertaining this behavior is the same as actively participating in it. So I felt like I owed it. And it was definitely hard. I feel like post game, there's going to be a hard conversation about it. But I think, it was a necessary thing for me to do, and it extends past the game. Like, it's not me being bitter because I got voted out. I think it was just like a genuine problem thing I had, and I thought it was a genuinely problematic behavior, especially considering the double standard of women and men in orgs, because they were like saying stuff about how like, Grace gets all the men, right, to like work with her and stuff, and like stuff like that. And I feel like even if that was Grace's strategy, which I don't know if Grace's strategy was just to charm all the men and have them dying for her, but even if that was her strategy, it's a strategy, and I feel like we need to respect that anyways. So like it just didn't sit right with me. But at the same time, like I wish I had called them out in the alliance track, because otherwise it comes off as, I think, like saying it in here, like after I get voted off, like I feel like it won't have the effect that I want it to. But saying it in the alliance chat also would have put them against me, and from a game perspective, I couldn't do that, even if morally I was like totally against what they were saying. I had to consider that this was a game. It's so hard to balance game versus like personal stuff, especially when you're playing an all-star season and you're already friends with a good amount of these people. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think I made mistakes as well in terms of that, but it's just, I don't want to be like saying like this is me like trying to like, make a statement or whatever, but I felt like it was behavior that needed to be called out, and so calling it out in tribal council is the most effective way to do that. Okay.
No, that's good. So you came into All Stars. Obviously, you were the robbed last juror of season 1, and you had the weight of like you'd hosted what 3 seasons. So a lot of these players
Jesus.
you'd hosted, and then you were the only Krakatoa representative left come the merge. How did you play around all of that baggage?
No, I didn't expect to make it to merge. First of all, I expected to get pre-merge boot just because of all that. First player of the season, first OG robbed god of the Phoenix org. Like, for hosted 3 seasons, I would have voted myself out just based off of preconceived notions of me. Like, even though you could Krakatoa server, you could look at my confessional, right, and see how like unimpressive I was as a player, especially compared to like, you know, more recent seasons. Like, and obviously I've improved a lot as an org player since Krakatoa. Since in Krakatoa I didn't know how to do command idle, you know. So, but it was hard, you know. I feel like I came into this like I'm really glad I didn't win Krakatoa now that you know, all this has happened. Like, I came into this with a huge like target on my back. I think like even if it was like I don't think people were super into meta targeting as far as I know. I wasn't into meta targeting. Like, but I think I had I was told that like when I was like thrown out at Final 13 that it was like because of my pre-existing reputation, and to that I don't know if that's true or not, right? So that's what I was told, you know, for most of the game. Like I was not the person giving the information. I was the person like fourth in line getting it, you know, so I was never on top. But I feel, you know, I came into this with a huge reputation. And I think a very fitting way was for me getting 22 votes this whole season. Like, fuck you, Matt Sky. I demolished your record. And that was like the only thing I could talk about for like the past 2 days. Like, look at me, look at my shiny record, I say as I hold up my brother's little league medal as an example, even though nobody can see me. But yeah, I feel like that was almost a fitting way to go out, you know, get a shit ton of votes. Like, yeah, I got 22 votes. Nick was like, yeah, you set a record that may never be broken with 22 votes against. I guess it can theoretically be broken, but not mine. No, when you get a vote that deadass says, "Fee, 5th time's a charm," like, I feel like that says a lot, you know? So I came to this with a giant ass target on my back. I think, like, you know, my plan was never to escape the giant ass target on my back, because I feel like that's a very unrealistic way to approach it. I think I did like unimpress people, for lack of a better wording. I think I could have been unimpressive. Wait. Simon's record is 26 over 2 seasons. I tied that, I think. I think I tied the most and no. Yeah, I think I tied the most, which is pretty impressive considering I had 4 votes in my original season. One of them was a penalty vote. I think the one thing I wish I could have done this was take a penalty vote. Yeah, just that would have been like the ultimate way to go full circle, you know? Like, I wanted to come in. I didn't expect myself to do super well. I expected to go pre-merge, and you know, just because of a giant target on my back. But I'm pleasantly surprised with what I did. I'm just glad I made merge, you know. That was like my goal, to make merge and to not get 13th place, which I almost did. I was so mad when people were like, "Yo, your name's out." And I was like, "You're fucking kidding me. I'm going to get 13th place." When in my wiki bio, it literally says hobbies, getting 13th place in orgs, right? If I got 13th place in this, I would never, ever let myself live that down. So I'm just glad I didn't, you know, and I'm basically yelling in my microphone right now. I'm so sorry. But
it's
yeah.
Good. Let me.
I'm so aggressive. Look at me like, fuck you all. I got all these votes. That's so funny. I make myself laugh, you know. Anyways. Yeah, I think I came to this with a giant ass target on my back. I couldn't really escape it. I never planned to escape it. But here we are now, 8th place. even number. You know, I got 8th place in Bangarang, so I think like good orgs under the 8th place for me. But I feel like 8th place gang is full of like a bunch of really cool people. We have Jess. I don't know who got 8th in Chile. Greg. I don't know who got 8th in Yukon. Oh, Zoe. Zoe's good. I love Zoe. We have Jess, whoever got 8th in Chile. Greg, Zoe, Austin. I think Austin got 8th in Cayman. Tim, yes, this is me pandering to Tim. Hi, Tim. But it's like, yeah, I think I'm in a pretty good gang here, you know. 8th place in season 7. I wanted 7th place in season 7 would have been cool. 1st place in season 7 would have been cooler, but obviously we're far from there. Yeah. I don't even know. What was the question?
It was about your target coming into the season.
Oh my god, we're still on that. Yeah, I had a giant target. I never
like
escaped it.
Earlier. Okay.
I made it bigger when I you know, I was hoping I kind of I wasn't expecting to escape it, but I was hoping I'd underwhelm people almost. Like be like, oh, this is our first player of the season. This is the person who's hosted 3 times. I was never planning on using hosting information to my dog keeps scratching me. Harper, get off. I was never planning on using information to like, you know, benefit me or whatever the fuck. Because like I see it as like you get the same amount of information as like if you were reading a confessional. Like you could have studied and gotten the same information that I had as a host, you know? Like, and also these seasons that I hosted were like at least 3 months ago. I don't fucking remember them. I couldn't tell you like anything that happened in Kazan Redo. I don't know. But like, of course, like still giant target. People don't care if I don't know anything about it. It's the fact that I was still there and that, you know, I've hosted a good majority of these players, even though my tribes, like, because my original tribe was 2 Kilimanjaro, technically 2 Chile, Lachlan, whose reputation was already pretty big, Grace, who was a winner, right? So, like, I didn't need her to know, like, Grace is pretty famous in the org community too. Like, I'm talking to a celebrity, you know? But, yeah, I feel like, you know, Grace be like, I'm a celebrity, get out of here. Yeah. I had a giant target. I couldn't escape it. I had to play an idol, made it bigger, never escaped that. The end. That's my story.
What would you say your biggest regret?
My biggest regret? Sorry, you cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. What would you say your biggest regret from the game is?
Oh god, probably checking out like at Final 12. I feel like I could, and also like consistently like doing really bad mentally like every other round, right? Like it became like I'm afraid that I was gonna get trademarked as like the mentally unstable one, right? You know how everybody has their little archetypes. Grace, the meninist. This is a joke for everybody listening. Kevin, the Rob merge boot, you know. Alicia, the comp beast, Milo, the Australian, Fee, the mentally unstable, right? So I was afraid I was going to get put as that. So I feel like, you know, especially following around people at the beginning of the merge, because I was definitely a follower, right? But I feel like I could have taken things more, I guess, what's the phrase? Grab it by like, not the pussy, I'm not Donald Trump, but like grab it by the something or other, right? I could have grabbed the game by the something or other, right? And probably been more assertive. I could have, oh wait, no. This is the obvious question. Approach people. I think I approached people like 3 times in this game. I like every time I was DMing somebody, they came to me first. That was like my Achilles heel. I could never approach people. I knew if I was going to Final Tribal Council, I would get ripped apart for never approaching people and for leaving so many people on red. Like, I was so bad. But yeah, so I think I could have approached people, left less people on red, and like, I don't know, not died at the final 12 boot. Does that make sense?
It does. More happily, what would you say your proudest moment is?
Oh my god, Wes wasting the idol. Hell yes. That was so good. I was on voice chat with Alicia then. We were like, oh my god. It was, that was so satisfying. Like, playing the idol in itself was satisfying, right? But it was also more anxiety inducing because we were afraid that the minority split plan wouldn't have worked. So that was what I was more focused on. I was on voice chat with Alicia at the time. We were sitting there in like dead silence. Like, you could just hear us breathing and like scared. And we started crying when I got 8 votes against me, right? And then, but also like realizing after we got Wes to waste the Alioth idol that we didn't know he had. You know, that was just so good. Such a great moment. Like, we just knocked out 2 idols, right? The merge idol is going to get rehidden. Alicia's a compy. She's going to get all the clues, right? It's just, it was so good. Like, especially knowing that, like, yeah, like, we figured Courtney had walked with the idol, right? But obviously she hadn't. But yeah, just getting Wes to waste it, like, it just made me feel like I was on top of the world, you know? Like, I was fully expecting to go out next round, but I knew if I went out next round, I would have gotten the record anyways. But this was a much better, like, ending than that. But yeah, just knocking 2 idols out, right? Like, myself, my own included. Knocking idols out, getting somebody to waste theirs. I've wasted many an idol, right? But I've never gotten somebody else to waste theirs. And so it's just so, like, satisfying just to watch somebody else waste the idol. And that was something that happened multiple times. Like, Ben wasted his idol as well. That was like at the Tim boot. That was also satisfying, just seeing idols get wasted, you know, and maybe I sound like a totally evil person, but I just love it when, like, you know, people waste idols and you're like, yes, my plan, it's still working. Ha ha ha. Nobody knows, you know, type shit. But yeah, it was just a really satisfying moment.
You mentioned this a little bit just now, but the idol, when you played an idol on yourself, how did you know to play it? How did that come to be?
Well, I'd gotten word that the Brandon plan had been leaked. Nobody was talking to me all day. I knew it was me. Like, I knew I was the vote either way, especially coming off the Courtney boot, because I was the proclaimed easy vote. Everybody knows the easy vote. I was the only one who had the balls to say it was, but I was the easy vote, right? And so I figured, like, you know, this isn't going to be a waste. I know they're voting me. Like, the way people are talking to me was like knowing they were voting me. Brandon straight up told me it's you or me, you know? Like, it's like, it was not like a twist of luck that I managed to play the idol. I knew the votes were on me, right? It was like an elaborate plan that I knew the votes were on me. I was going to play the idol, right? It was going to be beautiful blindside as long as they didn't split the votes, which they didn't. It was going to just be beautiful. I was going to revel in it and get voted out 10th.
Shrub from season 6 Kilimanjaro. This isn't really a question, but they said, "Tell Fee I love them," and also, in quotes, "Ooh la la, away, away, away." I don't know what it means.
La la, away, away, away. Oh my god, that's a Luna reference if you didn't know. But, oh my god, can you tell him I love him too? Wait, I can just DM him. Bye.
Yeah. Jess from season 1 and season 5 said, "Why is Fee so cooler than school?"
Well, I mean, there's a lot of words I could use to describe how cool I am. I think it's just because I made TikTok VLs and because I cuffed my jeans, you know? Like, that's just, you know, it's about the energy. It's the key smashing. It's the, Nick, stop asking questions in Ponderosa. I'm interviewing. God, the spotlight is on me, not you. It's because I joke about being egotistical and hope that people are like, haha, you're so funny. When in reality, I do have a giant ego, right? Like, it's about that. It's the way you present yourself. It's the way you talk really fast when you're on voice chat. It's the way you're good at Jackbox. And Scribblio, but nobody ever played Scribblio. It's the way you are awake at 6 a.m. for 24-hour madness just so you can post star emojis, you know? It's about the way you carry yourself. What am I even talking about? It's about how cool I am, right? I think if there was a Scribblio challenge, you know, a throwback to the UConn tiebreaker final immunity challenge when I bullied everybody to Scribblio and beat them all, I would have won. This game was just based off of how good you are at drawing games, I would have won. And that is why I'm so cool. But you know who else is very cool? Colts. Go Colts!
Izzy asked season 4 and season 5. She said,
I don't know
how
who
do you
Izzy
feel
is.
having received several...
Who's Izzy? Sorry, I don't know. I don't know her.
Izzy from Yukon and Cayman Islands asked, how do you feel having received several votes prior to being voted off?
No, it's fabulous. Like, once I got the record, I was just like, you know, I was satisfied. Like, I guess I didn't want to be voted out really, but I guess also at the same time, my mind getting more votes just meant bigging my record, you know. 17 votes, just winning by two records. Winning by 2 votes, you know, it's not enough, you know. You really have to go all out and win with the beautiful 22 votes. A record that, if it is broken, I will become best friends with whoever breaks that record. And I don't know, weirdly, like, I shouldn't be so happy about getting votes, right? But here I am, like, feeling like I'm on top of the world because I've got so many votes. And partially because I dethroned Matt Sky for that record. I just accidentally put on my brother's shoe. That's disgusting. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. It got funny after I got all the votes. And then Elise was like, do you think you're going to receive 2 or more votes? And I was like, you're fucking kidding me. I could get the record here. The record wasn't in my mind until after Elise brought it up, and I was so excited, you know? And then at the Tim boot, when I got 3 more votes, like, you could see me in tribal council, terrible reaction on my part, especially when Tim was getting voted out. Oh my God, I got the record. Like, what an awful, awful reaction from me. But it felt so weirdly good. Like, I would not be happy about getting votes, but here I am, like, talking and talking about how excited I was to receive votes after votes after votes.
Well, speaking of the fact that you just got the record for the most votes with, I believe, 22, why did you keep receiving votes this season, and how did you keep surviving despite that?
Oh my God, I don't. I mean, originally it's because I was the easy vote. At the Courtney boot, I was the easy vote, right? At the time I idled, I was the easy vote. But then afterward, I think that things dramatically shifted, you know? It's like, I think my threat level dramatically rose, you know? People are like, hey, Fee has a shit ton of votes, you know, and survived a bunch of votes, you know? Like, that's gotta mean something, right? And also, I feel like the way I carried myself, like, especially, like, I don't know, when I'm on the bottom, I'm not nearly as active in, like, tribe chat or just conversations with people or, like, you know, bullying the host in tribe chat and stuff like that. Like, I'm not nearly as active in that when I'm on the bottom, you know? When I'm on the bottom, I'm like, you know, so I think maybe I got a bit cocky, right? And so that's probably the reason why I got voted out. Like, I was probably being really cocky, right? But yeah, so I think it transitioned from me being to me being like public enemy number 1, and I'm very familiar with the position of public enemy number 1, but it just feels like, I guess it almost feels like, I don't know. It feels almost like an honor to be public enemy number 1 in Phoenix All-Stars, you know? Like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think I got a bunch of votes initially because I was the easy vote, right? I wasn't hyperactive. I was always online, but I wasn't always DMing people, you know? I wasn't involved in very many alliances. I wasn't at the top of the totem pole. I was at the bottom. I was just, you know, not even a swing vote, you know? My vote wasn't important. I was just following people around. So I was a very easy vote, you know? But then later, like, after I kind of made my own presence and like made it clear to people that I did have allies, that I was working with people, you know, like, then I think it became a matter of voting me out because I was a threat. And I hate calling myself a threat because I feel like that comes off as super egotistical. But obviously, to be blindsided at 8, you know, when in theory the plan shouldn't be you, when you're not on the bottom, you know, you've been getting your way for these past votes, like, that's obviously a matter of threat level. Like, it's not me calling myself like, oh, look at me, I'm the baddest bitch in the club. It's just a matter of like, I had a big threat level, and I didn't really have the opportunity to like, kind of like, I guess, shrink my threat level, especially considering when you put an idol, like when you play an idol, you like, that's kind of, you know, like, you can't really go down from there, you know. I've kind of like, it was just my threat level is kind of like probably at the bottom of everybody else. I was probably the bottom edge contender, and then I just like, and I'm not saying I shot up to be the top edge contender because I don't think I was ever going to win this, but like upon reflection, like in the game, I did think there was a possibility I could win this, but like upon reflection, like there was never really a possibility. Like I couldn't have won this because it was either be somebody's goat or be public enemy number 1 and the biggest threat in the eyes of the people. So it was kind of almost a lose-lose situation on my part. But yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, to summarize in this, what I'm assuming is extremely long interview so far, I was the easy vote, and then I became the biggest target. I'm the least eloquent person I know. Anyways,
it's okay. We love a good ramble. Who would you say left in the game that you're rooting for?
Tommy, absolutely. My Bay Area, I think that's the Myers-Briggs thingy. Buddy, he was the only person, like, we never ever worked together, right? Like, except for maybe the Courtney vote, right? And that was only because we were just happened to be like anti-Alioth at the same time. But we never worked together, but I still find myself rooting for him because I genuinely like him a lot as a person. But yes, I am rooting for Tommy. He better win this. I feel like nobody else, like not even nobody else, like I guess you could make an argument for Wes, but like I feel like everybody else here doesn't really, like, I don't think they've played. Anyways, yeah, I'm absolutely rooting for Tommy here. Like, I don't know, I feel like he has like the perfect story almost, you know, like to come in and win. He totally, like, I don't know, and I just like I like talking to him like on a personal level. And so with in the middle of the merge, you know, I had more personal conversations with him than I had with like anybody else. Like even Alicia, like our conversations were either something random, you know, never had any substance. Like we were talking about like food or whatever, but it was either that and like, you know, it didn't have as much substance. Like I could just have a long conversation with Tommy, and I just appreciate that quality in a person. And also, I feel like, you know, even though we never worked together, I still would love to see him win. I feel like it'd be a very, very deserving winner. But yeah, so in conclusion, I'm rooting for Tommy, and he better not get voted out here because I will be very sad. Anyways, yes.
That's who you're rooting for, but who do you think actually has the best chance of winning?
Ugh. Sorry, was that a bad response? At this point, I feel like it's almost going to become a matter of I don't know, because I can't say who I think I would win. I think there are people that I feel like don't have the thing to don't have the chops to win here. I feel like, you know, there are people who I feel like definitely couldn't win unless they're put in a tribal council against Chi. You know, anybody who wins against Chi is my my thoughts here. But I feel like, you know, as much I would love to see Tommy win, he's also, I feel like he's got a lot to do before he could get to tribal and final tribal. And like, oh my god, it's just, I want to think like, no, he could totally win, but at the same time, there's like a total like it's a long road up, to think realistically. But as opposed to who I think could win, I feel like I don't know because it's really a matter of who makes it there. So it's just depends on who goes with who. I'm sure everybody's considering like Ben and Nate in their final tribal council plans. And so it just really, for me, I think it's a matter of who wins. And of course, Alicia is a comp beast. She could easily comp her way to the end, even though I don't necessarily respect that. And I don't think, like, if you comp beast your way to the end and you don't have, like, the game to back it up, then, like, at the same time, I might not respect that. But I think there's a lot of factors. I can't answer with who I think will win because it depends on if this is a final 3 or final 2, which I'm assuming is the Star Summit thing, or, it might be a predetermined final 3 for all I know. If it's a final 2, then it's whoever takes Chi to the end. Of course, they'll win. Whoever wins final immunity challenge, unless it's Chi, of course, wins. If it's a final 3, then I feel like more is up in the air because you can still skate by without winning final immunity challenge, as seen in many of our previous winners. But so I don't think I can answer your question like how you'd like me to, because I don't think it's that clear. I think yeah. I think it's just who wins final immunity if it's a final 2. And more so, like, I guess you could say who wins final immunity if it's final 3, but it's just I don't know, because there's a lot of games I don't want to reward, but there's a lot of games that have the potential to make it there. Like 4 out of the 7, I think 4 out of 7 people here, or maybe even 5, depending on how you think of it. Like, I would not want to vote for 4 out of 7 people here, just because I don't think their games are very impressive, especially for an All-Star season when my main criteria for voting for somebody balances on how you've improved your game since your first season and like why you're an all-star, why you deserve to be an all-star. I think, a lot of people here haven't played games to answer that question that would satisfy me. So I think it's going to end up being a matter of who that are seen as GOATs. And they will probably end up winning, which I hate to say, but I feel like this season, with all the big threats and the big targets here, like, I feel like the season will probably end up with somebody against GOATs and a very lame ending because all of the big targets and the big people and the big scary social threats are chilling in Ponderosa with me.
Okay, you did say then, just very quickly, do you think it's a final 2 or final 3?
I think it's up to the Star Summit. I think.
So, sorry.
Is it not up to the Star Summit, Elise?
No, I was gonna move on, but you can continue if you'd like.
No. I was just gonna say I think it's up to the Star Summit, so I can't answer your question.
Okay, so my last little thing is word association. I think the jury will kill me if I don't do it for them. So we're gonna do it for them, but then we'll do the official one afterwards.
Oh my god, this is so exciting.
So you know how to play word association, so it's just the first thing that comes to mind when I say their name. So Kevin.
Old. Wait, no.
Courtney. Poor Kevin.
I'm so sorry. Courtney Queen, absolutely queen.
Okay. Brandon.
Oh my god. Wait, no, don't say that. That's not my answer. Oh my god, in a British accent. Sir. I can't think of like anything that specifically comes to mind. Like now that I'm thinking about him, I only remember the time that Alicia called him middle-aged, but I don't want to say middle-aged because I feel like that's very bad. But he's pretty cool. Like easy to talk to, I guess.
Grace.
Oh my god, I love Grace. Can that be my answer?
Yeah, again. Tim.
And cheery voice. Oh my god, I love Grace.
Tim. Unless that was your answer.
like with Tim, this is gonna sound like weirdly like in detail, but with Tim, it's like he's so easy to like. He's super likable. I guess it's like that's like the most simple way you can put it. Like he's really easy. He's really likable. I feel like he's super easy to make friends with. You know, I kind of admire that quality. I'm also kind of jealous of it, but like, yeah, this is sentimental. Why am I being sentimental? But yeah, swag.
Okay, so we'll do the jury. Not jury, the main people. Okay, so the word association for everyone
Okay.
else. So Alicia.
Child.
Ben.
Inconsistent. I could go into detail, but I don't think I'm supposed to.
Chi.
Can that be my answer?
Yeah. Milo.
Australian.
Nate.
Oh my god, I love Nate.
Tommy.
He better fucking win. If he doesn't win, I'm throwing hands.
Wes.
I almost said old too, but I don't think I should give the old target to another person. Online at the weirdest times. That was like probably the most unsatisfying. That was probably the most unsatisfying jury interview.
Thank you so much for joining me and everyone else. And thank you so much for playing the season, Fee. And I hope you enjoyed your time in the game, however emotional or long it may have been.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that to be insulting. You said earlier you cried. So
I did cry. I cried.